Hi everybody, this is Wendy with the Verity Group. Hey, today I just wanted to put a little bit of information out there on responsibilities of agents and types of agents. Today I wanted to talk to you about buyer's agency. There's also a seller's or listing agent, and then in some cases, and it is allowed in the state of Utah, there's a limited agent, and that's where they take part in both sides or represent both sides of that party. Just wanted to address a couple of things right up front. So let's say you're driving by a neighborhood and you see the outside of a home and you see a sign in the yard. That person, whoever sign is in the yard, and that brokerage has been hired by the seller of that home. So if you were to call that person, just know that right up front, they are limited in what they can do for you because they've already been hired to market and negotiate on behalf of the seller. So that's why it is advisable in some cases that you contact somebody else to represent you in buyer's agencies. There's some great agents around town. We certainly have phenomenal buyer specialists here at the Verity Group. But again, if it's my sign in the yard, I would encourage you to, even if you call me, that I would hand that off to a buyer's agent so that you would know that you would get full representation as a buyer. Here's some duties of a buyer's agent. One, generally speaking, and here at the Verity Group, we're going to ask you to come in and we're going to sit down. We're going to do a buyer's interview with you. That can take up to about an hour, but during that time we're gonna get some really good criteria, and we're gonna try and get a picture in our head as your buyer's agent, and I certainly am a buyer specialist. We're going to get a picture in our head of what you're looking for, what's important to you, your wants, also your needs, your time frame, your price range, where you are in the process, whether you need to communicate with the lender before we go out looking. At that interview period, your buyer's agent should be suggesting, maybe if you haven't communicated with the lender, of course they're going to have a preferred. We in the business, especially full-time specialists, absolutely know who offers superior service, and we would certainly want you to have that type of experience. It can be very distressful when you're going to purchase a home. If your loan is not done in a timely manner, the lender doesn't answer your calls, the inspector doesn't show up, etc., etc. So we certainly will be making recommendations. You as a buyer can use whomever you please. We're also going to help you find the property. So once I have a criteria in my head of what it is that you're looking for, one of my buyer specialists, we are going to input that data into our contact management and sometimes into our MOS system, and we're going to start sending you properties. Now here at the Verity Group, we're going to take that general, or maybe send you, let's say, 10 properties. We are very much going to ask you to critique what we send you. So the object of being a buyer, and I know that especially first-time buyers, it's fun to go out there and take a look at everything out there, but if it's not going to fit your criteria, if you need a 4-bedroom, we're not going to be looking at 2 bedrooms because you're just going to get exhausted with it. We are also going to suggest a price that you offer on the home. So once we find your home and you're like, you know what, I really like that property, we've got your lending in place and we want to submit offer, we're going to give you a short range that we recommend. And that's going to be based on the current market conditions. So what they've been selling for, what the competition to this home has been selling for, how long it's been on the market. We're going to certainly tell you we think this home is overpriced, or you know what, this home is well positioned, and so we're going to recommend that you go in with not a specific number but a range. However, keep in mind that a buyer's agent works for the buyers. We work for the client. We must do absolutely what you tell us to do unless you inadvertently somehow ask us to break the law, and then we'll just clear that up with you. We're also going to negotiate. It's very important that when you hire your buyer's agent, that you hire somebody that is very skilled in negotiations. And please feel free that when you're interviewing your buyer's agent, anybody here at the group, that you ask them, are you a skilled negotiator? And if they are not, and if they, in some sense, if they can't even answer that question, you may want to move on. It is certainly acceptable for you as a buyer or a potential buyer to interview many agents and go with the one that you feel is going to do the best job for you. Remember, in all of your processes, you, the client, are the boss. the lender, the inspector, your agent, the title company, we all work for you. You are in that position of power, and it is completely acceptable for you to demand professionalism. So next session, we're going to be talking about a listing agent or the seller's agent. And I hope this gave you a good heads up on what you can expect. Thanks, Vernal.